In this video, we'll cover completed assessment events for both an RTO and an assessor. You'll see that on my screen at the moment, we have an assessment event. It's in completed status, and currently I am the assessor. So if we head into the assessment results, once we select that button, we'll be presented with a screen of all of the results for that assessment event. These are all of our candidates, and we can see quickly which were competent, which were not yet competent, whether they were not eligible for certain areas of the performance assessment. And we have two button options. So we can either download the candidate assessment summary or send the candidate assessment summary email. Now, when you hit the candidate assessment summary email, you'll need to make a selection for those candidates. You can select all candidates or you can select candidates individually. And keep in mind that this will not be sent out as a group email. Each candidate will be sent their own candidate assessment summary. So if we want to send an email, we could select one candidate, hit the send CAS email, we'll get a confirmation. Once we select yes, there will be a confirmation up the top of the screen, candidate assessment summary is emailed. If you'd like to send them individually to the other candidates, you can do so. Alternatively, you can select all of the candidates, send the CAS email, go through the confirmation, and you'll get another confirmation at the top that they've been sent. The other option is to download the candidate assessment summaries. So an important thing to note is that once an assessment event is completed, these candidate assessment summaries, unlike the ones in a plan status, will be pre-filled. If we take, for example, our competent candidate, we select them, we download the candidate assessment summary. When we open it, you'll note that the results will be in the candidate assessment summary. The notice of satisfactory assessment box will be checked. Any comments that were made throughout the course of the assessment will be put onto the form. The assessor declaration is pre-filled. The candidate declaration is not required. And the two following pages will explain to them how to obtain their high-risk work license. This is what the candidate will also receive if you email the candidate assessment summary, and the email will also provide instructions on where to apply for their high-risk work license. Now, an important thing to note here is that if we switch to an RTO, this is an RTO looking at the same assessment event. If we select the assessment result button, you'll notice that the RTO can just view the results for all of the candidates. They can also have a look at each candidate individually, and they can export this table. So they can export as a PDF, a CSV, or an XLS. An RTO cannot email candidate assessment summaries, and they cannot download completed assessment summaries. If an RTO needs the candidate assessment summaries, the assessor will need to download the candidate assessment summaries and email those to the RTO. In that case, for an assessor, the easiest thing to do is select all of the candidate assessment summaries, select the download button, and then forward all of that to the RTO. Once that's complete, you can head back and you can review the entire assessment event.